Unit 2, Who's Who? In this unit, we will learn about asking open-ended and close-ended questions, eliciting responses. What do you mean by open-ended and close-ended questions? Okay, first let's go through what do you mean by open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are questions that cannot be answered with a simple yes or no, and instead require the respondent to elaborate on their points. Open-ended questions prompt the beginning of longer conversation by asking questions starting with why, how, and what if. It also allows respondent to include more information, including feelings, attitude, and understanding of the subject. For example, how do you feel today? This is an open-ended question because it cannot be answered with a simple yes or no. It requires a response, isn't it? Next, what is your favorite flavor of ice cream and why? Another question, when is your birthday and how do you like to celebrate? All these types of questions needed response. Now let's look at the close-ended questions. A close-ended question that limits a person's choice of answers, typically with one-word answers like yes or no. For example, are you feeling better today? Remember, you can answer with yes or no. It is a close-ended question. Would you like vanilla ice cream? Do you have a pet? So for all these questions, yes or no answer will be fine. Okay, now let's move on to the listening task from the textbook and follow the instructions given.
Unit 2. Listening. You will listen to an interview on radio where two famous women writers are talking about the progress of Indian women. Study the questions for a minute before you listen and then fill in the gaps with one or two words.
Good morning. We have with us two award-winning authors, Reena Gupta and Yamini Raman, to share their views on the growth of women in India. Reena, congratulations on your latest book. Could you start by telling us about your book and how it deals with the empowerment of women in India?
Thank you. My latest book, A Girl Came By, was launched last week. It compares the glory of queens like Rani Lakshmibai and Sultana Razia with two modern Indian women named after them who succeed after great difficulties.
So where do you think the Indian women face difficulties?
My story is about how important society is for the growth of a woman. In my view, the Indian woman lacks the freedom to choose her way of life because Indian society is not totally woman-friendly.
Yamini, as a passionate writer of women's issues, do you agree with this view?
I agree, but only partly. This is true mostly of the rural regions of India. We have great achievers like Indra Nooyi, Saina Nehwal, Naina Lal Kidwai, and many others who have shot to fame. Many more Indian women are successful as scientists, administrators, fashion designers, economists, and so on.
Absolutely. And the good news is that education levels among Indian women have been rising. The 2011 census shows a female literacy rate of over 65%, a good rise over the previous years. Reena, don't you think that's a positive sign?
Yes, it is. But we need a society where women can grow without fear. Even in educated urban societies, women face many social problems.
Very important point. How many women in India are free to choose their clothes, their lifestyles, and their jobs? Yamini, what's your view? How do you think a woman can succeed in India?
Every woman is strong, and a woman can succeed only if she sees her own strength.
Yamini, some of our listeners believe that your heroines are exceptionally strong characters and that such characters are rarely found in real life. Do you agree?
My heroines are ordinary characters who choose to be extraordinary. I try to show that every woman is actually very strong and can choose to be so.
So while a woman should understand her own strength, society too should help her grow. The two go hand in hand. Listeners, it's time for a break, but don't go away. We'll be right back.